Hello, hello. Welcome to yet another day, day 105 of 301, and we are continuing on with a brand new project. We're going to be working on a request header parser microservice. We've already done a microservice, a little timestamp one, which returns a timestamp given on the date that you've entered. Gives you the Unix value, the seconds passed since 1970, the milliseconds that is, and yeah, then a UTC timestamp in UTC format, so it's pretty cool. I even put some API documentation together for it to make it feel a bit more official. I really liked it, and I think I'm going to utilize this for the microservice one as well. Well, the request header one. So it needs to be functionally similar to this one. Let's have a look what we're dealing with. Okay. I can get the IP address, preferred languages from header, accept language, and system info. Header user agent, right. So the IP address as well as the language. It's pretty cool. And even tells you which version. Am I using version 50? No, I'm using version, yeah, it's strange. I wonder why that's not updated. But either way, we're going to be doing that. Start this project on Glitch using this link. I don't think we need to. I think we can just clone the one that we have. So how do we do that? How do we clone this? Tools? How do we clone this? Let's go check out our section. Because then I could just copy that and, you know, edit from there. Would have thought that we can There's a remix. There we go. Remix. So we're gonna rename this to DMN request header parser. Is it a request header? We'll just name it that. There we go. We should probably have a look at just in case I have something in the includes. Why can't I edit this? Oh, there you go. So in the README, we're gonna put that there, and then in the package.json, we're gonna stick that there. Oh, we got bumped up Express to version 5. Hey. This stuff doesn't change, so that's good. Cool, man, cool. Yeah, I think that's the only two stuff we'll copy is the package.json and the readme, and everything else. Do we need the hyperdev assets? Just in case, you never know. Gonna copy it over. Who knows? Who knows what these things are? Git config, it's the same. envs are the same. Yeah, I think we got now to just delete this. Delete it. Delete it. How do we delete this? The for calculator needs to go. I'm sorry, for calculator. You were just there temporarily so we could get the data. Q. We're ready. Now let's go ahead and copy this project. APIs and microservices projects. This is going to be request header parser. And let's give this a close. How do we close this? Workspace. Close folder. There we go. And then we can go ahead and add folder. Times request header parser. There we go. The package.json obviously changed, so I need to just update that real quick. There we go. And then under my app.js, no, that's fine. Modules, so we can have helper, I don't know, depends. Okay, so the first thing we need to do I'm gonna check this out. What's the closed it. The requirement is I can get the IP address, preferred languages from header accept language and system info. I mean, pretty simple, right? I think it's in the request already. And what's the endpoint? API. Who am I? Okay. So API, who am I? I think we can get everything in the request. And we don't need any of this. And let's just log request. I don't think we're going to use isValidate here. Okay, so let's go ahead and update our request header. And then let us view it. We go to API, who am I? And then nothing's going to display there, but in our log, in our console here, we get stuff. There's the address. There you go. User agent, Mozilla. So all the information we need is actually in here. So the raw headers, I guess we can access all the headers. So can I literally just do see, can I just do request dot headers? Was it headers? Do we see? Yeah, it's headers. So let's see what happens if I just request headers. So if I just request headers, there we go. Can we do the X forwarded for and the user agent? Because what are the requirements? IP address, language, and US, this one, accept language. As well as software. So the user agent, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's make a note real quick. I need X forwarded for the user agent as well as accept language. Okay, let's get these three things rolling. Request headers dot X forwarded for. That's not valid. Oh, what am I doing? Can I do that? Do I have to have it like that? And user agent as well as accept language. And then I find out there's an internal way to do this. Let's see what that gives us. There you go. IP address and the language. There should have been a remote address. Is there a remote address? No? No, there isn't anything there. Apparently you can do request.ip. Is that a thing? I don't remember seeing a request.ip option, but let's find out. Yeah, request.ip gives that local one. Yeah. Okay, we can't use that, but at least we know how to use it now. So what does it need to look like again? Okay, this is what it needs to look like. So let's get it to look like this now. We can do res.json. I think it's just res.json, right? Let me just double check. Yeah. Res.json, we need IP address, which is going to be actually, let's do it this way. IP address equal to request headers x forwarded for 0. So the first one. Actually, we can just do. Wait. It is a word. And then we need language, which is this one. Language is language, so we can just do language. And then we can also do software. Which is going to be user agent. And you guessed it, we're just going to do software as the key. I mean, if we don't want to repeat ourselves, I can literally just do lowercase, even though it's going to bother me. Because it's not, actually we could just do IP. Fine. What sucks is because they didn't use camel case, it would have been perfect, because then we could just do, if it's the same as a variable, the key, that you can omit. Basically, if the key is language and the variable is language, you don't have to go language. You could just do language. But now, because they had lowercase, all lowercase IP address, and we're doing it properly with camel case. It bothers me, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. We can live with that. Okay, that should be it. It should now respond with an IP address. Well, with all the information. IP address 4, love it. NUS, Mozilla, blah blah blah. Cool, that's good. Only problem is IP address is 4, which is not really correct. Why is that? I gotta figure out why. I thought I'm sending the first, because isn't it an array? Oh, it's a string. X forwarded 4 is a string, I didn't realize that. Okay, what if we do this? Request.headers, X forwarded 4. Because it might be empty. So then we can do or dot split by the comma that it has. And then we wanna pop it off. Let's try that. No. Because pop will be the last one. Because if I leave that, we get an array, I believe. Yeah. If I do 0 like that, that should give me the first one. If it's an array. Forgetful Isaac, hey, how's it going? There we go. We got our IP address, we got the language, and we got the software. Look at us being all fancy! That was quick. IP address, language, software. Because then you can do whoami.ip address, whoami.language, whoami.software. Okay, so that works. And what was the requirements? It just needs to output it like that? IP address, language, software. IP address, language, software, yeah. Let's bring out the little tester, shall we? And see if it works. The header parser. Get a valid IP? Yep. Oh, that's cool. We can see a test in here. Accept language? Yep. Accept language too? Yep. Validate? Yep. Cool. Isn't that awesome? And we can actually see what it's doing. Console.log IP address language, because I want to see what they do for the test. Language and software. Go. Test it again, por favor. Clear. 2, 3, 4. So it put in an IP address. How does it use my IP address? That's confusing. Why is that my IP address? Pog, right? Yeah. Isaac, click this. What is he? If it keeps using my IP address, how does that work? Is it because I'm hosting it? The language. Oh no, it didn't. Okay, cool. Yeah, spam me now. Right, just keep clicking it. Oh, amazing. I see you using your freaking Safari. Can't hide from me, Isaac. Chrome. That is. Safari, Chrome, WebKit. How's he using all of them? What the fuck? Mozilla? Apple? Chrome? Safari? It's confused. My computer. Oh, so you mean when I click here, this software is using my header to send it. Basically, it spoofed it, didn't it? No! Your language is no! Are you Norwegian? Is it Norwegian? That is so cool. So I actually know another Norwegian then. Ah, I had no idea you were Norwegian. Thought you said something about Denmark at some point. I would have picked up on Norwegian. But yeah. Think about the user agent, yeah? Jeg en norsk jævel. Programs use the user agent to see whether the browser is compatible. Yeah. It's weird how Chrome includes all of it, doesn't it? They're kind of cheating the system. They're like, yeah, we Mozilla. Yeah, we also Apple. Yeah, no, we Chrome. Yeah, but we also Safari. Isn't that BS though? Whereas Chrome, I mean Firefox, is the real deal. Look at this, Chrome trying to be Mozilla. Where Mozilla is just like, yep, I'm Mozilla, I'm proud of it. I'm just Firefox. I don't need to pretend to be something else. Wow, that's crazy. First time I've ever seen this, Isaac. That's bad though, if you think about it. Because you don't really know what you're dealing with. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's other ways to test and find out and all that. I mean, if it was that it needed to work with everything, then it should just be a standard, you know what I mean? Where all browsers just have a standard, they work. We need a unified framework. But obviously that's never gonna happen. Anyway, so this works, Isaac. And I passed all the tests. How quick was that? It's not even been like half an hour. And like 10 of those minutes were spent doing something else. So we've done this in 20 minutes, Isaac. Wow. Easy. Easy. We could go write the API now. I mean, what? We could go write the documentation. Oh, I wrote documentation. I don't think you managed to see it the last time. Now do it without framework? Well, I mean, it's pretty easy. We've already done it. You know what I mean? The headers are just HTML headers. So to get it, it will still be X forwarded for. We're not using what do you say? Express for this, because otherwise you could just do request.ip. We're using HTML headers. So X forwarded for is HTML header, accept language is HTML header, use agent. So all of this would be easy. You know what I mean? The other stuff, sure. Oh, I wouldn't need to do the app route. I could just have a literal. This is not using anything dynamic. I could literally create a page, API, who am I has an index.js and an index.html, and it will have this inside of a script. You know what I mean? Like, there's no magic that needs to happen. It's not like a dynamic, you're entering a date that changes. It's always just the same. Who am I? The endpoint is, it doesn't change. You know what I mean? It's got no parameters, nothing. So it's very easy to make a static page for this. You know what I'm trying to say, right? I just create a folder, API, folder, who am I? And then you get the user information from the head when the page loads. Obviously for more advanced things that wouldn't work, but for our case it would. Let's see, what do we need? I don't think we need modules helper anymore. I'm just removing that, and then we are going to delete the folder modules. Yeah, I know I'm using a framework. What I'm saying is that I can host this on a static page, create a folder API, create a folder who am I, have an index.html and an index.js there, then get the user's headers on page load, process the headers using the exact same HTTP headers that we're using here, and display that information. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I would not need a framework, because it's very basic what we're trying to do. For more advanced things, sure, like querying and parameters, but literally for this, it's a static endpoint. This doesn't change. You can't pass it any queries. Only thing I'm trying to think now is this a good way of getting the IP address? Because the IP address returns a string, the first one being the IP address, the others being the proxies. Now generally the first one should be your IP address. So what I've done is split the string by the comma, because it's separated by a comma, then get index 0, because split turns it into an array, to get the first one. And I'm wondering if I should add some error checking, you know? But yeah, I guess we could do error here, right? Since if we don't get an IP address, we could do error. Well, I mean, there's no other way. The header will always respond with the string and the first value. Oh wait, never mind. What am I doing? It's either the header or yeah. I'm trying to think of a way where you won't get an IP address. Would it be blank? Would it be not a number? Well, no, it can't be not a number. We're not evaluating. Would it be undefined? I mean, for this simple use, I don't think we have to worry. We're responding. What we are going to change now is the index.html. It's not going to be timestamp microservice, it's going to be a... Is there a better name for it? Request header parser? Is it what it's doing? Returns an object with a user's IP address, their is it system or browser? I can't remember. The browser uses a system language, so their system's language as well as their browser. What do we say? Browser something? As well as their browser? Browser type? You don't really get types of browsers. I mean, you know. As well as their browser information, I guess. And then we're just gonna do API who am I. Hey Drax, how's it going? I'm repeating myself here. Gets the Unix and UDCs. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. The top one is gonna be a simplified version, and the bottom one is gonna be the complete version. I'm doing good. I'm making progress, doing some projects, which is really fun. Did not expect to be done so soon today, but I am. Which is a good thing, I guess. With information provided by the browser's request header. Oh, nice! I hope it goes well. It's a lot of fun. when it's fun. Parameters, pass parameter, what do we have? Parameter required data description. Parameter, who am I? Required, yes. String. Oh, but you're not actually passing anything in, so how does this work if I'm writing the documentation? Do I say not applicable, NA? Isaac. Isaac, I just realized something. You know, when I'm writing my documentation, this was my timestamp microservice, right? Where date gets replaced with, so you go API, timestamp, right? And then you go date, where date is like 27, whatever, November, whatever, like that, right? So the parameter was date, but in our case, you go to API, who am I? It's not a parameter. So does that mean I should technically remove parameters from here because it's not applicable? There is no parameter. You can't pass in something. I mean, I guess I could pass in who am I IP, who am I language, you know what I mean? But I mean, that's not part of the requirements. So I guess I just completely remove parameters. No, that was just an example. It's not part of the requirements. For me to make this work, I'm thinking I should just remove parameters completely. Because all you're doing is going to API, who am I, and it gives you information of that. There's no parameters to put in. Either that or write no parameters. Where it says path parameters without the table. I guess, yeah, that's more logical because they might think there's parameters. So where it says parameters, I just say no parameters. And then remove the table. And then an example request. Yeah, true, I agree. But then how do I deal with example requests? Because again, before it was go to the endpoint, pass a parameter in. I could give an example response, but how do I give an example request? Oh, I just have the URL. Yeah. So literally just go to API, who am I? Without anything. Just like that. There you go. Are you still hosting the API? Yeah, I am. Why? Yeah, go for it. If you still have the link. So what are the keys we get? IP address, language, and software. IP address, language, and software. But they're all strings, aren't they? Yeah, they're all strings. IP address language software. So this what is an example output? Random IP address generator, because you know I don't want to give some actual IP address. Let me generate a random one. There, I'm gonna use that IP address. You want to see something cool when I finish this request? Change the HTML. Oh, this is the wrong one. I would have been very sad. What? Can I go to the console? Oh, yeah, you could spoof your IP address when you send it in. People will always be able to spoof their IP address, but one way I could get around this is convert the string to an integer, and if there's no value, then I can produce an error. I mean, I don't know if there's any point, because like... oh yeah, this is what I want to show you. Doesn't this look cool? It's like a VS Code editor. I changed the background, and then I literally styled all of these based on the colors that VS Code uses. So the keys are the same colors that you would see in a JSON object, and the strings are this color. Oh, that's not a string, that's my integer. Do you see that, the number? So I can actually go ahead and change this class from integer to string, update this, and watch it change now from the green. Oh, I'm missing a comma there. Comma, comma, no comma. I think it's like that, right? The response? What's the response look like? Oh, there's no... Wait, raw data. Comma. Comma, yeah. Does it look like that though? Let me see. IP address, yes, comma, language, yes, comma, software, yes, perfect. Beautiful. Thank you. Did you just change your header, resend your header? Because I can go here, network, wait, don't tell me, Isaac. Let's see if I could do the best. Oh man. Doesn't let you access it immediately, does it? There it is. So cool. So if I now go to my log, software, the best. Do you see? So good. This is why you don't trust headers. Can you read this? I beg of you, language. Oh, Isaac. Oh, Isaac. Going to have to punish you now. Send. Hi, Isaac, look. My IP is nope. My user agent is nope. And my language is nope. So when I send my request, I have now become nope, nope, nope. What are you doing, Isaac? Why are there so many Norwegian languages for you though? Do you see that? NB no, NB no, and they're like got float values 0.9, 0.80. I wonder what that all means. You speak all of the Norwegian languages? All dialects? The 0.9 and the 0.8? I see you. I speak 1,000 languages, I see. No idea what those version numbers are for, right? But we do have 2 written languages. Oh, you do? What are they? I want to test something. Was it this one I was testing? Yeah, it was. I broke it! I broke it! I broke it. I just set some headers and I broke it. Bokmal is Danish and Jorsk is radical. Oh wow! Wait, so you have Danish? But isn't Danish from Denmark? And the Norwegians speak Danish? Oh, you said it looks like Danish. I see what you were trying to say. Oh, okay, I see what you mean because of the whole idea of being part of Denmark. Oh boy! That's pretty cool though. I missed track 6 already. Why? What happened? You scared him, Isaac. Why did you scare him away? No, Isaac. Maybe because I have a joke. Maybe. Okay, so what did we say we're gonna do here? Example request, which we've done. Parameters, no parameters. Actually, it doesn't have to be big like that, does it? We could just do no parameters in a p tag. PP tag. There we go. HTML there. JavaScript there. Let's delete modules. Bye. Have a great time. And then that's all. And then it should look like this. Parameters, no parameters. Endpoints, get. Who am I? Date. No, there's not going to be a date. Silly. There. How's that look now? Request header file returns an object with information provided by the user browser's request header. Is it a user browser's request header? Is it the request header? Or is it just the user browser's? You know what I mean? Response headers? It is my browser's headers. So how would we word that? Returns an object with information provided by the user's browser's... Should we say instead of request? Do we just say headers? Or should we say request headers? I'd say returns an object with information provided. Provided by... How about this? Returns an object with information provided from a request header. Then I have to change this. Returns an object with an IP address, system language, as well as browser information. Or instead of browser, we can refer to it as a client, because it could be like something out of a shell. So it's not really a browser then, it's a client. How about that? Did we make it good? We'll make a great team, Isaac. There we go. Returns an object with an IP address, system language, as well as client information. Returns an object with information provided from a request header. Parameters, no parameters. Example requests. You click it. Gives you a request. Example response. Response definitions. Oh, I need to do these. Why are we lolling? What is so funny? I'd say user agent to be specific. Instead of client? But wouldn't a client be anything? It can refer to a browser, it can refer to a shell, you know what I mean? It's a client. Generally, a user agent though refers to what a browser is, doesn't it? You know what I mean? So it's specific to a browser. User agent. Smoother sounding, yeah. But I'm an agent for the user. Okay, let's finish this up. So this Unix becomes, what are the 3 things that get returned? I thought I did this already. Oh, I did it up here. IP address. IP address is a string. Then we've got language. And then we got soft aware. IP address string. The IP address that was originated from the request. Wait, does that sound right? The IP address that originated. Wait, does it originate from the request? I confuse myself now. Or rather, the IP address that made the request. There, keep it simple. Language. The reported system language of the client. Software. The reported client how about that? The reported client information used to make the request. So you can put there Putin's super secret computer. Think I'm joking? You think this is a joke? You think this is funny? I'll show you funny. Right. Oh, I disabled logging, didn't I? No. Console.log software, please. Go. Edit. Well, resend. There we go. Look! Putin's super secret computer version 1 made a request. The Kremlin wants to know your location. Hello? Okay, request header parser returns an object with information provided from a request header. Endpoint, API, who am I? Hello? Returns an object with an IP address, system language, as well as client information. Parameters? No parameters. Example requests. Example response. Response definition. The following table describes each item in the response. IP address, string, the IP address that made the request. Language, string, the reported system language of the client. Software, string, the reported client information. See, I don't want to say the system language, because then it's like, it could be inaccurate, you know what I mean? So reported at least makes it sound like, well, based off of the information we got. So which is better, saying reported or just saying the system language, the client information? I could say supposed, the supposed IP address, because, you know, trust no one. Reported, yeah. Cool. Well, there we are. We are done. So here's our request header. And Where's our timestamp one? Glitch! There it is. How's that look? Beep 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 beep. Here's our timestamp. And here's our header parser. Isn't that cool? We got 2 of them. I like our API documentation, it's pretty cool. Ta-da! Right? So good. It's amazing. The best. So you know what we need to do with it now? We need to check to make sure that we're still passing the test, because you know I get paranoid as fuck. Okay, cool. We still pass it. Then we give it 2 solutions, because you know we don't have a GitHub link, but that's okay. We'll set it up like afterwards sometime. It's not important. It works. That's all that matters. A URL shortener. Hey, look at that. We're going to shorten URLs. This is going to be a fun one. Then I'm actually going to use that for my own domain. So I can have like deadminer.com / Isaac is forgetful. It's not really a shortened URL, is it? Okay, URL shortener microservice. I can post the URL and I'll receive a shortened URL in the JSON response. Oh, you know what's so cool? I already have a way to detect a valid URL because I had to use it for another project. So cool when you do things and you can reuse it. DNS.lookup. What? You can look things up? That's so cool. Short URL creation. Free code count becomes 545. What does that even mean? You mean like API short URL new? Oh, you just go to short URL 3. Wait, what was the one that we created? 345? What if I go to 345? Whoa! Someone actually used this. Where does 66 take us? It's going to another... Oh my god. I feel like we've discovered... We're on the dark side of the internet. Rand 449. Where does 666 take us? That's pretty cool. So it actually... So is it storing it in a database or something? That would make sense. So we're actually going to use... If we're not going to use it, I'm going to totally create it. Like I want to use Mongo and like store the created URLs. Because how's it doing that? It doesn't show anything, but I mean, the short URLs work. Look, if I go to 4, I don't mean 42, I mean 4. No! God, the browser, every time. I'm not trying to go to 42. Huh. And 5 goes to random string 002. I wonder if it's just a regex. 6 goes to curse arrow. 8, 9, rand 911. What is going on? I don't understand what it's trying to do. But yeah, we'll make it our own. That'll be tomorrow's project. I can't wait for that. It's gonna be fun. But yeah, I wanted to introduce you to someone, Isaac, but they're not around, so hopefully another time I will. But it was nice of you to come through. I really appreciate it, as always. And now I've got to go do some Entei raids, because, you know, Pokemon. It's gonna be fun. Is it the girl? It's maybe a girl. And maybe you won't chase her away like you did Draxx, right? I'm finally getting married. Woo! Are you gonna bring your own lutefisk? I'll shower next time. Okay, mate. Oh, God. Alright. Well, I hope you have a good day further, Isaac, and to everyone else. And I will see you guys on the next stream. Bye for now.